I love bamboos, particularly the way they grow. If you look at a small bamboo on the ground today, if you come back 6 weeks later to visit that particular bamboo, it's going to be thrice your size. That's like an overnight success, isn't it? It's a miracle of nature. How can a bamboo shoot up 90 feet into the air within 6 weeks? Now this 90 feet growth that happened over the last 6 weeks is just 20% of the process. A bamboo takes about 3 to 5 years to build an extensive root system under the ground, which is where the real growth happens, which is where the foundations are laid. I look at everything I do with the perspective of bamboo growth. It's all about laying the foundation first, having confidence in yourself, and then looking at long-term, medium-term, and short-term goals, and then chasing those goals down. This very concept of bamboo growth has been a central theme for my third semester of university. The underground phase consisted of me going back home, reconnecting with family, hitting the gym 5 to 6 times a week, doing ice baths every single day, reading a ton of self-improvement books, about 10 to 11 self-improvement books that I learned a lot from. When I took that flight back from India to Sydney in Feb, that marked my emergence from the ground. I'd already laid the foundation that I had to in order to grab the opportunities that I wanted to grab in Sydney, and now it was time for me to actually put myself out there. And that's why I titled my first video after coming back to Sydney, I'm putting myself out there, because it was quite literally that. If you don't shoot the shot, it's a definite miss, but if you shoot the shot, there is a chance you might get the point. I threw myself in different environments. I joined a business consulting society, a not-for-profit business consulting society known as 180 Degrees Consulting. I joined a real estate investment student association as their creative director. I came across a few like-minded individuals that have a lot more life experience than I do. They're better than me in a lot of things, in a lot of aspects of life. Now, I had two options, right? I could either shy away from the fact that I'm not as good as I think I am, or I could use that feeling of inferiority to push me to grow. And I'm glad I chose the second option, which was to just observe these environments, observe how people go about their work, their life, their things. And I learned a lot just through osmosis. By being around these like-minded individuals, being in these environments, like it was like an internship almost. Learning not in a linear fashion, but in a very multi-dimensional and holistic way. How many options do my grandchildren have to choose between?
For you?
Yeah.
See, if I want 50 kids, right? The thing is, I want one cricket team,
Yeah.
one basketball team,
Okay.
and one football team.
Fair enough, yeah.
And one boxing team.
Boxing, there's no team, it's a one person.
No, there's a coach, there's a physio,
you want everything?
Yeah, bro,
Oh.
of course.
Oh fuck, I should start now then.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm 21 already.
I mean,
This is the end.
when I was in school, I feared math. I didn't really like numbers or the fact that I had to solve all of these problems from a textbook. I remember failing a math exam in my 9th grade. Ever since then, I've had this paralyzing fear of math. Everywhere you go in life, you have to solve problems and numbers will be involved. So this is just a fear that I had to conquer, and I knew I had to conquer, but I ignored it in my first year at university by picking units that didn't really involve math. 3 out of my 4 units that I picked during this semester involved a lot of numericals, problems, and numbers. Problem solving mindset. You just sit there on the desk and face that problem until you get to the root of the problem. And math and economics is all concept based. If you know the concept well, you can solve the problem. Well, I'm not the best at solving problems. I'm not saying I became an economics expert after this semester, but I definitely faced my fear of numbers, and I did much better than I thought I would. My degree is going to demand more and more math and problem solving as I progress, and I'm glad it does, because by the end of my degree I will have a much better analytical mind. I will be able to deal with numbers much better, and I'm looking forward to it. I've laid my foundations, and the next semester will be all about bamboo growth in that aspect of my life. Everything relates back to one central theme, and that's bamboo growth. You're on.
Am I? Yeah.
Who are you?
Who am I?
Damn, I don't mean to interrogate him.
That's a deep question. Okay, well, to introduce myself, let's see. I came to Sydney because I'm doing an exchange program with NYU and the University of Sydney.
Alright.
And I'm currently on my second to last day here in Sydney. There's been so much to do, so much to see. And I'm sad to be going, but like I know for a fact I'm coming back.
I mean, if he doesn't come back, I'm going to block him on social media everywhere, you know.
Proof
so
here now.
I have proof here. He said it
it's
online.
It's a contract. It's a social contract.
Exactly. I saw him in the gym, right? He looked super jacked with his tank top on. I went up to him. I told him, bro, hey, what's up? Like, we were sharing the chest fly machine.
Chest fly.
Yeah, I told him, bro, I want to hit chest flies. like, can we share the machine? And we started talking, and he told me about how he goes rock climbing, not how he wanted to go rock climbing.
Yeah, I wanted to go rock climbing.
Yeah, and then we eventually ended up going rock climbing, and that's how we
we're
became
about to
friends.
do again. So yeah.
Yeah, but the worst part about making friends from exchange is that they have to leave. So
Yeah. No, that's the hard part. But
nah, that's the easy part though.
texting-
Like, I want him to go, but anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. Exchange goes both ways, right? So I mean, at some point, like the pressure's not always on me to come back to Sydney because you are gonna eventually come to New York at some point in the future, whether to visit or to study or whatever. Next Sunday, that was New Zealand. Next Sunday.
Give me the pose. Eduardo's first time at Charlestown.
This is good. This is really good.
You need to try extra spicy. Now, there's no debate about the fact that Interstellar is probably the greatest movies of our generation. One reason for it is because it was made by Christopher Nolan, one of the greatest filmmakers of our generation. But what makes Interstellar so great is that it combines science and art. Science is extremely objective and data driven, whereas art is subjective and involves a lot of emotions. And the fact that Interstellar combined both of these together and art and science worked in tandem made it so good. This concept of combining art and science is called rounded knowledge. I read about it in this book that I'm currently reading. It's called Mastery by Robert Greene, and it talks about this rounded knowledge. Currently, one of my goals is to develop a more rounded knowledge. I'm pretty good with art. I know how to invoke emotions in people through my filmmaking, and one of the reasons why I'm good with it is because I am an emotional person. I feel emotions to a great degree. I can make films about how I feel about things, and I can make people feel the same way as I do, and that's very powerful. What I'm now working on is my analytical side and approach everything in life through this rounded knowledge. That's the road to mastery, a heightened form of our human potential, becoming a master in your field. Bro, what about this room? You're leaving this room behind.
So what?
I mean, you've been here 4 years. Don't you feel attached to it?
No. I don't know, bro. Part of the journey is the end.
Fair enough.
Ask me on the day I'm leaving, then ask me that question. Right now, I'll always say,
I'll film you cry, bro.
me crying. If I cry, it won't be for the room, it will be for leaving you guys, but I won't cry.
I would not shy away from saying that this semester has been my best semester at university so far, and probably one of the most life-changing periods. And it was largely due to the fact that I treated it as an internship or an apprenticeship. As a kid, I genuinely believed that I could learn everything by myself by reading self-improvement books, sitting at home and just learning everything online. But the fact of the matter is that self-education doesn't amount to anything if it's not combined with real-life experiences. This semester has been all about that. In hindsight, I could have done a lot of things better, but there's no point dwelling on that. When confronted with a particular problem, I had limited knowledge and I did that task to the best of my abilities at that point of time. I've got to acknowledge the fact that there's so much more that I have to learn, so much more that I have to experience, and I'm only going to get better with time. And I have to trust the process and trust the bamboo growth. This is just me reflecting on my life, as I always do on this channel. I hope it helped you in any way possible. If it did, I'm glad it did. A lot of my inspiration for this video came from this book. It's called Mastery by Robert Greene. It's all about becoming a master in your field or reaching the height of your human potential. It's one of the most powerful books I've read in a while. I'm vlogging and I'm filming a reel. I've been waiting for this moment for a while now. The only thing that got me through my exam period or any difficulty in my life in the past couple of months has been this light at the end of the tunnel. And the light at the end of the tunnel was a cup of homemade chai, or Indian tea if you may call it that. And you don't know how happy this makes me.